Well, I just wanted to thank you, Jos, for joining me on stage at the Renewables Knowledge Hub with Josh Power today. And I wanted to check with you to see what your perspectives were, because we started out on this conversation about how utilities are going to be able to enable the clean energy transition. And I thought it was really awesome that we had the perspective of the United States and also Europe. What were your takeaways?
So I see quite similar challenges in utilities in North America than we have experienced in Europe. Yeah, so, and I think that in Europe there is more boldness to go beyond regulatory envelope to see what's possible and what's not possible, to fight the challenges. Yeah, so and I also experience a little bit the fear of EV and the impact on the grid. Yeah, so and how to deal with that. Yeah, so and that was really that I think that if we can collaborate globally, yeah, to bring that knowledge together, that will be of a relief of the utilities in the US. Right. So, for instance, in Norway, we had last year 80% of all the vehicles sold are electrical vehicles. Yeah. So there are countries in Europe that are dealing with those high loads, yeah, without breaking the grid, without any downtime or outages. So.
We're seeing the early aspects of that here, even in the United States, because Josh was even talking about the renewables mix that ERCOT was showing is a surprise with climate change, with the energy transition, and with this need to integrate renewables while also maintaining the resiliency, affordable and secure services on the grid. It's a huge challenge for the utilities, and it's a today problem, even though some of the incremental challenges are going to be coming in the future.
Indeed, yeah, and what we see in Europe is that due to the new uptake of renewable energy, the intermittence, there is more demand for intermediate power, so the gas peakers, and we are finding ways to leverage electrical vehicles, behind-the-meter batteries, to fill in that gap as well, so we don't have additional emissions due to the gas peakers needing to counterbalance the intermittence of generation of renewables. So we need to be very smart and sensitive on and looking for also investments not by utilities but by consumers and leverage that investment to solve those problems as well.
Yeah. It's a topic that's really been pervasive across all venues here at Distributech 2023, both on stage and off stage, because this morning in my breakfast roundtable, we were at a table focused on collaboration and how data is shared across organizations. The utilities represented there were sharing their perspective that from a United States perspective, we're really not there yet. We're not taking advantage of all even the systems that we have in place, so the assets we have today. There's more work to be done to build out the capabilities that we have today to take this incremental data and then also to be able to get this data at a speed and frequency necessary to make some real-time decisions. I'm very inspired by what's happening in Europe and some of the work that we can look to.
So one of the things that is now proving itself, I think, since it's running since 2017, is what we call crowd balancing platform. And that's a purchasing platform that supports new regulations like FERC 2222 for ISOs to open up the market. But it gives visibility down to the device level, without having an issue for collecting data behind the meter. So GDPR, we call it in Europe, right? So data privacy.
California Privacy Act
is very, very important. So we nailed that as well. And that platform is now replicated in 5 countries in Europe. So that means that suppliers of solutions can tap into a uniform market pattern that you find now in 5 countries in Europe and growing. So, and that's a first step of standardization of those new flexibility services.
So I'm curious because I think about our collaboration with the Digital Economist and working on the programmable energy paper. How do you see this move towards tokenization or the next evolution of what's to come in Europe?
Oh, okay, so we have built now the first proof points using blockchain, using visibility beyond your first connection in the value chain. But we also face a pushback on the complexity of the work that we do. And to me, tokenization can be conceived as the same solution as shipment or containers did in shipment. So and that new tokenization economy, that's what we're building up. We're building some proof points as we speak. To support communities, to fight not in my backyard, pushback from renewable generation, So, and with the digital economists, we conceived the concept of programmable energy as a wrapper around all those new business models, all those new technology applications that we are seeing emerge. Not only from IBM, but throughout the world.
Yeah. I think about it throughout the world, and I think about this responsibility that the utility sector has to enable this movement towards a clean energy future, and how we can engage consumers and the participation of business leaders and communities in order to achieve this new sustainable future that we're trying to build. And really, really looking forward to how we can better collaborate and use technologies like hybrid cloud and AI to securely share data across connected platforms in this way.
Yeah. So in my mind, it means that the smart grid has built the base capabilities, and now we're up to the next step. So programmable energy is a layer on top of the smart grid to make that a reality. Based on all the exponential tech that you mentioned. Yeah.
And the push that we're getting from business leaders and consumers that are purchasing EVs. We had this paper that just came out too on EVs.
And also the tailwind, right, from the new regulations.
Yes.
So the acts here in the US and the acts in Europe that are pushing for consumer participation, opening up the markets, and be also multiple retailers competing on the same connection. So those are new opportunities that are emerging.
I think that's the only way we're going to be able to create this sustainable future is together.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Rebekah, for inviting me.